Hello and welcome back to Figure Barn. Today we have another epic showcase of Funko greatness. We'll be diving into three worlds that couldn't be more different, but all are equally awesome. From the majestic realms of Middle-earth with Lord of the Rings, to the whimsical chaos of Where the Wild Things Are, and finally to the British zombie apocalypse with Shaun of the Dead. We'll uncover the tiny vinyl versions of your favourite characters, heroes, monsters, and a cricket bat wielding zombie slayer. So whether you're a Frodo fan, a Wild Thing enthusiast, or just love Shaun's hilarious adventures, you're in for a treat. So grab your popcorn, or maybe a pint at the Winchester, and let's dive into this collectible pack journey through a bit more pop culture movie history. Let's get started. Now, as I'm sure most of you already know, unless you've been living in a hobbit hole, the Lord of the Rings is an epic tale of good versus evil, following Frodo Baggins as he embarks on a perilous quest to destroy the One Ring and stop the Dark Lord Sauron. Guided by the Fellowship, including Aragorn, Gandalf and Sam, Frodo faces immense danger when resisting the ring's corrupting power. J.R.R. Tolkien's books immerse readers in Middle-earth's rich world, while Peter Jackson's films bring the saga to life with stunning visuals, iconic battles and unforgettable characters. The movies are packed with unforgettable moments, the terrifying mines of Moria, the jaw-dropping Battle of Helm's Deep, and Aragorn's inspiring rally at the gates of Mordor. Along the way, Frodo faces temptation, betrayal, and the ever-creepy Gollum, who wants to steal the ring for himself. Meanwhile, Aragorn embraces his destiny as king, and the forces of good unite to face Sauron's armies in a showdown for the ages. So the Lord of the Rings pops we have today include four of the most recent sets, released early this year, but the franchise is very much one that Funko returns to again and again. At last count, there have been over 45 pops covering the trilogy, and that's not including multiple chases, 2-packs, bitties, everything else Funko throws at us. But anyway, the first one we have today is Éowyn. Introduced as Rowan's shield maiden, Éowyn longs to fight but is bound by duty. Defying expectations, Éowyn disguises herself as a warrior, joining the Battle of Pelennor Fields as Dernholm. In a defining moment, she confronts the Witch King, declaring, "I am no man," before delivering the fatal blow. Gravely injured, she finds healing and love with Faramir, choosing a life of peace after the war. From defiant warrior to compassionate leader, Éowyn's story is a triumph of bravery and self-discovery. A true heroine of Middle-earth. Now, so this one did have the chance of a chase, which is classed as masked, but actually it's her wearing her helmet when she faces the Witch King. I'll throw an image up over here. Unfortunately, we weren't lucky enough to pick that one up, but there's still a fair level of detail here, showing her in her full armour, and obviously has her long blonde hair and the eyes with the lashes, which Funko tends to do these days with most of the female characters. In one hand she's got her sword there, and being a shield maiden, it makes sense that she's holding her shield in the other. Now, although in the book she goes by the name Dernholm as part of the disguise as a male soldier, it's never actually mentioned during the movies. Other names Éowyn is known for throughout the trilogy is the White Lady of Rowan and also the Lady of the Shield Arm. Next up we have one of Sauron's eerie ringwraiths, the Nazgul. Once mortal kings, they were corrupted by the power of the Rings of Power. First appearing as shadowy hunters chasing Frodo, they pursue the One Ring relentlessly. From the chilling attack at Weathertop to their pursuit across Middle-earth, their presence looms large. In The Return of the King, they take to the skies on their fearsome fell beasts, wreaking havoc during the Battle of Pelennor Fields. Ultimately, their end comes with Sauron's fall as Frodo destroys the ring. Now, this is the second Nazgul that's been released, with the first back in 2017, which on that one they had their sword in an outstretched hand and more of a sort of dotted, muddy look to their cloak. In this latest one, as you can see, again they're in their signature dark cloak and hood, giving that ominous and shadowy presence there. It's got metallic gauntlets holding onto their sword, which is held up in front of their face, if they had a face, I suppose. So there is quite a lot of texturing as well to the robe itself. I don't know if you can see that there, which gives it a bit more depth, as well as the bottom edges being speckled brown with the Middle-earth mud lapping up at the bottom there. Now, interestingly, the movies rarely mention how the Nazgul's power is exponentially increased during the dark of the night, while they become blunted in the sunlight. The Nazgul are unable to even see during the day, relying on their fell beasts and their mounts to navigate for them. And the third of our Lord of the Rings for today is our graceful elf, Arwen, played by Liv Tyler in the movies. Arwen defies her father Elrond and chooses a mortal life to be with Aragorn, her true love. She saves Frodo in the Fellowship of the Ring, dramatically riding to Rivendell while summoning a magical flood to thwart the Nazgul. Her journey intertwines with Aragorn's as she inspires him to embrace his destiny as king. So this is the first Arwen pop that we've had, depicted here in a royal attire, symbolising her union with Aragorn and her role as Queen of Gondor. Again, it's a pretty detailed pop, with a flowing green velvety gown and then up to the delicate elven crown on her head there, over the top of her pointy little elven ears that are just peeking out the side as well. Now, when Tolkien started his novels, he intended for Éowyn, who we saw earlier, to be Aragorn's primary love interest. He planned to have her die avenging her father Éomer. This meant that not only would Aragorn's love life have been completely different, but it would have also ended very tragically. Then Tolkien began writing about the immortal elf maiden Arwen, and everything changed. And finishing off our Rings quartet is old Bilbo Baggins. So in the Fellowship of the Ring, Bilbo lives in peaceful retirement in Rivendell, having passed the One Ring to Frodo. His mysterious history with the ring resurfaces as its corrupting influence lingers on him. Though he doesn't embark on Frodo's quest, Bilbo's actions set the epic journey in motion. In The Return of the King, aged and weary, Bilbo witnesses Middle-earth's victory before departing for the Undying Lands with Frodo, Gandalf and the others. So as you can see here, Bilbo's in his older incarnation, as he was in The Return of the King. Now there is a previous younger version that was released as part of the Hobbit set back in 2012, so what's that, 13 years ago? I don't have that one, and if you wanted one in decent condition, it's probably going to set you back more than £150 these days, so what's that, about $220? As you can see with the sticker there, this one was a Funko Shop exclusive. There was also a chase variant, which has him with a more of an angry face and blackened fingers. Again, we weren't lucky enough to pull that one, but this one has him here with his wavy grey hair there, beige little waistcoat over the top of his white shirt and world-weary eyes. Looking down at his feet, you can just see him there. He has the grey tufts there on top of his little hobbity feet, just sort of poking through there. No shoes. Now, if we look at the back of the boxes on these ones, it's interesting that we don't actually see the ones that we've just looked at. It's the same on all the other boxes as well. It's showing the previous set that came out last year. Now, also for this set, there's another two that we currently don't have. There's Gandalf at the doors of Durin and a pop town of Elrond with Rivendell. When we do get these, I'll certainly stick them in a video as well. So, from the epic tales of Middle-earth to the untamed wilderness of a monster-filled imagination, it's time to leave behind the rings of power and journey into realms where crowns are made of mischief. Where the Wild Things Are from 2009 brings Maurice Sendak's beloved 1963 children's book to life in a fantastical and emotional adventure. Directed by Spike Jonze, the movie expands on the original story, blending whimsy with heartfelt moments. The film follows Max, a spirited boy in a wolf costume who feels misunderstood and runs away after an outburst. He sails off to a mysterious island where he meets the Wild Things, giant quirky creatures with distinct personalities. Crowned as their king, Max promises to bring happiness, but soon learns that ruling is harder than he imagined. Through Max's adventures, he realises the importance of love and family, choosing to return home where his mother welcomes him with open arms and a warm dinner. And the first one from this set we have is obviously Max, our misunderstood and rebellious little boy. Now technically this is the second release of Max, as both him and Carol were released back in 2014 as the inaugural pair in the book series of Pops. This is the first time they've been included as part of the movie set as well though. And as you can see, we have the Funko Special Edition sticker here on this in the UK, which is the same as any that are sold in specific retailers. Those of you in the US could pick this one and the next one up in Barnes & Noble, which makes sense with the basis of the movie coming from a book, I guess. But anyway, Max here is dressed in his full wolf costume, with his arms out and performing his stomping walk to make him look as scary as possible. He's also wearing his king's crown there, his whiskers on the side of his onesie, and I don't know if you can see back there, but he's got his big bushy black furry tail coming out the back of his suit as well. Now, a bit of an odd fun fact for you. The voices of the Wild Things, which mainly James Gandolfini, Catherine O'Hara, Lauren Ambrose, etc., were all recorded before location shooting, with director Spike Jonze and Catherine Keener, who played his mum, reading Max's lines at various points. At the first table reading, however, Max's voice was played by Brad Pitt, of all people. So it would have been a very different Max if they'd stuck with that choice of actor. And up next we have Moishi, or Carol in the movie. Now, the names of the Wild Things are not actually outlined in the book itself, but they do exist, and were originally based on author Maurice Sendak's relatives, with Moishi being the name of one of his cousins. Now, when Max arrives on the island, Moishi quickly becomes a loyal follower of their new king, enjoying the wild rumpuses and chaotic fun that Max introduces. However, like the other Wild Things, Moishi struggles with his emotions, balancing excitement with occasional jealousy and conflict. Through Max's leadership and eventual departure, Moishi learns valuable lessons about understanding and camaraderie. Now, we'll stick with the name Moishi rather than Carol, as it's how it's listed on the box. And again, this is a Barnes & Noble exclusive for those of you in America. And he's depicted here in his playful pose, showing his wild beige and tan stripes and a friendly grin, perfectly embodying his quirky personality there. Now, similar to Max, he's in a kind of walking pose, with his legs more reminiscent of scales than the fur that covers the rest of his body and around his head, obviously there. Now, with the design of both of these pops, this and the Max one, does look like they're more based on the original book illustrations than they actually are within the movies. I think I prefer it like that. It does make them stand out a bit more from the standard movie pop and being a bit more sort of cartoon-like as they are in this form. But there you go, there's Moishi, or Carol as they're known within the actual movie. And from wild rumpuses to zombie chaos, it's time to trade furry mischief for cricket bat wielding survival. As Max sails away from his island of wild things, Shaun faces an invasion of the undead. Now, in Shaun of the Dead, Shaun is a lovable underachiever whose life takes a hilarious and horrifying turn when zombies overrun London. Desperate to save his loved ones, including his mum, ex-girlfriend Liz and best friend Ed, Shaun embarks on a chaotic rescue mission with a cricket bat in hand. Their plan? Survive the outbreak and seek safety at the Winchester pub, their favourite hangout. Filled with witty humour, gory zombie battles and surprising heart, the movie showcases Shaun's journey from slacker to unlikely hero. And here we have Shaun himself, with the iconic pool cue, which he uses in the Winchester pub during the zombie outbreak. As Queen's Don't Stop Me Now plays in the jukebox, Shaun, Ed and Liz fend off zombie John the landlord using the pool cues that he's holding there. So this is the third Shaun that we've had from the movie, with the original coming back in 2017 and another in the Funko Fusion set, both of him wielding the cricket bat. So this one mixes it up a bit with the pool cue there. This is also the third chase that we've missed out on in today's showcase, where he is actually splattered in the zombie blood, whereas this common version just has the blood spattered down the side of the box there, as you can see. Now, I have seen this pop with either the standard Funko Special Edition sticker or the Speciality Series sticker, but as you can see, this has neither, which is a bit disappointing really, especially as this came direct from Funko Europe, but never mind. So, as well as the pool cue that's swung over his shoulder there, he's obviously still in his workwear with the red and purple 4E electronic store tie flapping over his arm there. Now, from the three movies that make up Edgar Wright's Cornetto trilogy, which is Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz and The World's End. The World's End's the only one that we haven't actually had any pops for yet, as we also had Simon Pegg as Nicholas Angel from Hot Fuzz as part of the Funko Fusion set not long ago. Funko, feel free to release a few more. I'm more than happy to pick them up. And there you have it. 3 epic adventures, all in one wild, ring-filled, zombie-ridden ride. From Frodo's trek to Mount Doom, to Max's rumpus with Wild Things, and Shaun's chaotic showdown at the Winchester, we've explored tales of courage, mischief, and pint-worthy heroics. Whether you're an elf, a king of the monsters, or just trying to survive the undead in style, these stories remind us that sometimes the best adventures happen when you embrace the unexpected. So, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss our showcases. Drop a comment below and let us know which other movie pops you'd like to see, or even your favourite from today's collection. So stay curious, keep exploring, and remember, there's always another story to tell. We'll catch you in the next one.